all the way from 4 years old to olders, to working with university, and then Ignite training and working with adults to do some apprenticeships. So we're offering so much. There's so much going on.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
It's Get Radio Breakfast, and my next guest, we're catching up with James Gilmore. We're chatting Oxford City Football Club. We're chatting more about the community side of things today. James, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Really good. Thanks for joining us on the show. Just tell us a little bit about what happens with Oxford City, sort of in the community, because we all see, I think, the football side of a football club. The match days, everyone getting there, 3 points, no points, 1 point, and what have you. But tell us a little bit more what goes on behind the scenes and all the fantastic stuff that you do in the community.
Yeah. There's so much going on, let alone the first team and all of their stuff, both the men's and women's on a football pitch. But we also do so much in the community. So I've very recently been introduced to a new role set up by the football club and the charity side of the football club. So Oxford City Sport in the Community. Very recently been appointed as football and sports development manager here. So it's basically my job to try and interact with the community as much as we can within local schools, organisations, and try and just show what sort of club we have and what sort of family environment that we're trying to build here, and basically offering things for everybody, whether you are into football, into sports, whether it's your first time playing football, whether you want to improve your skills, whether it's for free sessions, whether it's like regular sessions, development centres, things like that. Just a bit of everything, to be honest.
I guess with obviously the fantastic promotion that happened last season with Oxford City, and kind of the way that the sort of club is run and everything like that. I wanted to use an example that I had when I was there. We popped down and visited on a Wednesday afternoon, I think it was, at sort of midday. So in terms of like what you think about what happens with football, you'd think, there'd be nothing going on. Oh no, the ground would be quiet. There'd be no one around. Quite the opposite. An absolute hubbub of people. The pitch is getting used by players of all different shapes and sizes, and just a real kind of, like you said, an atmosphere of lots going on.
Yeah, all the way from 4 years old to olders, to working with university, and then Ignite training and working with adults to do some apprenticeships. So we're offering so much. There's so much going on at the football club. We've got our Saturday morning sessions. So McDonald's Fun Football, so supported by McDonald's. Saturday morning here at Oxford City, 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. So for people to come down for a free football session, to just kind of enjoy it. And it's all about having fun. It's all about just making friends, having a kickabout, no real strenuous training, to just see whether people enjoy it and to give them the opportunity to play a game of football where maybe there might be some barriers stopping them. And obviously we want to try and help that as much as possible.
It's a prime example. I'm a football fan. For my sins, I'm a Man United fan. There we go. I've admitted it on radio. Yes, the laughter. I know. Let's just move on for that. But the stuff that comes along with being a Man United fan, you go to sort of a match day. There's a lot of it's not geared up so much for that community spirit, which is strange. Whereas more of the level that Oxford City are at the moment, it really, really is, and it's much more a family affair. It's much more of an inclusive affair, and it's a much more safer affair. The examples that I can sort of give, mixed sort of crowds and what have you, and having all this, it makes for a better environment, and you must see that on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, all the way from Monday to Friday, a massive philosophy of the football club, and what I kind of want to try and grow is how we can engage with those local children and local families. So we're quite passionate about our local schools close to Marston. How can we support them? How can we try and to engage with them? How can we try and to help as much as possible? So whether that is inviting them down to the football club in the week and doing some intervention things with them, working with some small groups about how it might look on a football pitch or how it might look as a sports professional. What we want to try and do is invite that community. And then what's incredibly beneficial for us is seeing those faces again on the Saturday, to watch the men's first team, on a Sunday to watch the women's first team, to come down and walk around and see those players that in their eyes are role models. And of course they are. They're playing football and massive role models. So just to see some young children that won't get the opportunity to go and watch Manchester United or Liverpool or Tottenham, if they can come down here and they can watch a very, very good level of football, and if we can be a safe sort of environment for them, that's a massive, massive achievement for us as a football club and us as a kind of community, I think.
You've almost, I think, answered my next question, because I was going to ask you, like, what's your favourite bit about the sort of work you do? But I think you might have answered that. Maybe I'm wrong. You might have answered that by sort of seeing that progression, and you've hit the nail on the head as well, James. That actually there's a wonderful standard of football 2 miles away from you, not 350 miles away from you. There's a great atmosphere 2 miles away from you. You can get in there for a lot cheaper. You can see your idols like as far as 2 foot away from you from standing at the side of the pitch. It makes it more real. But yeah, is that your kind of buzz for your role, or something different?
Yeah, massively. Them just being here and interacting with us, so they might come in the week. I think a massive thing for us is we like to get a lot of our sessions on the main pitch, so that these players feel as best as they can. They feel as they are the Cristiano Ronaldos and these players, because that's what you want to be as a kid. We've got our development centres, our holiday camps, we've got schools tournaments that we'll have on our first team pitch. We've got first team players working within Ignite and Oxford City, so that we can interact with them as much as possible. We can go and introduce them, and just to see kind of them progress from maybe just a once a week training session on a Saturday morning to maybe joining one of our junior teams, coming to our holiday camps, coming to our sessions on a Tuesday night, our development centres, and then on a Saturday morning, we're quite lucky. We've got quite a lot of mascots this year. So we're getting our teams out, walking out with the first team, so that they're in that tunnel, they're walking out at 3:00, they're shaking their hands, they're looking up to their idols. So that's for me is the biggest buzz that I can get personally.
No, listeners will not be able to see the massive smile on James's face at the moment, but I can sort of reciprocate that. That's a real buzz and wonderful. Well, in terms of a day to day, we've kind of got an idea. Is there any sort of big sort of community events that have, got a sort of flag post for us and that are coming up in the next few weeks or months?
Yeah, so something that I've very recently done since coming in is trying to engage with those schools that I mentioned, the most local ones, but also kind of a little bit outside of Oxford that might not have the opportunity to connect with sporting organisations like ourselves. So I've been lucky enough to take some of the first team players, Josh Ashby and Zach McEachran, out to assemblies in local schools to talk to them, to have like little engagements. We've welcomed some local primary schools to Oxford City very recently to have some tours, to do a little bit of football. And then we've got some tournaments coming up. So National League tournaments here at Oxford City on the 16th and the 23rd of November. So that is for year 5 and 6 students to come here to represent their school, to play on the first team pitch, to have a tournament. And then the winners of those will represent Oxford City. So they'll go on to like a Southern Region tournament, which is a very, very exciting thing to do. And then eventually the step, if they win it, they go and play at Wembley, which is obviously everybody's dream. When you're growing up playing football, you dream of going to play at Wembley. And we were very lucky enough. Very recently, we had a school go and do that. So it's definitely not too far out of the picture. And I'd love to be able to do that again.
Oh, brilliant. Well, it's really fascinating to kind of get a little bit more of an insight into the inner workings of a club like Oxford City as well, and doing so much in the community is absolutely fantastic. James, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.